everyone, my name is Ekaterina and today we're going to be starting a playthrough of a game called Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Not a long time ago I played the Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. If you haven't seen my playthrough, I highly recommend to check it out. It was one of the longest games that I've ever played on the channel. And I really liked it. Like, it's totally my kind of game, adventure with a bit of action. Even though it's like Sherlock Holmes used to be like purely puzzle games, and now they implemented adventure, like more actiony, and that you actually have to control, like it's not a point and click game anymore. You have to actually control your character, and there was actually scenes, if I recall. Anyways, I really liked it. It was really cool game, so yeah, I'm awaiting to be this game as cool as the other one. Yeah, I would like to leave it like unspoiled. I mean, let's see what the game has to offer. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not necessarily that you had seen the other game before. Anyways, let's just start the game, shall we? Actually, let me check the settings.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Okay, I don't remember Watson to be introduced in the chapter 1. In the chapter 1, like, we were discovering the... Oh, yeah, right. We were discovering the childhood story of Sherlock. But maybe then he came back, after discovering, he came back to London, where he actually is working. Like, I'm not really falling, like, I didn't play other games than the from Frogwares, aside the last two now, well, this one and the chapter 1, so I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay.
This mess is getting out of hand. What will the landlady think?
Well, yeah, so far. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, the clue system or clue searching system. Tension between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during a recent visit to London by Swedish Princess Ildur. Chief among the scandals was embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps as a result of unexplained disappearance of Princess Ildur's personal bodyguard. The longtime member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty and never returned from his late night promenade. A spokesman for the police assures that advertiser that they are confident the bodyguard will be located, as he's a striking representative of a Scandinavian people. A man like that gets noticed, whatever by his peers at the gentleman's club or the fair nightingales who comfort them. Okay, so the bodyguard of a princess got lost and then got lost. That's it.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting. Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
Yes, the artist from the previous game, with whom he had a case for him for Sherlock. Yeah, weird guy.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
The Strand is missing. So we're going out.
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, so far, we haven't been introduced to the Mind Palace yet. In a rainy day, you want to dress in something more appropriate for the weather. Open the casebook with scene, navigate to the wardrobe. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so they're like notes that pin evidence. Yeah. So that's the map. Okay, they changed it a bit. That's the Mind Palace, I would say, so where we can make connections and tab. In the other game, we had to actually buy suits. For example, this one I had to buy. But here it's already like we own it. And police uniform, is it a police uniform? I assume it is. Okay, interesting. Because a lot of suits I had to buy myself for these guys. Well, how cold is it? Okay, yeah. Have already numerous of hats and glasses and beards. And for Watson, yeah, I mean, he also is gonna be cold, so let's dress him up as well. But he also has a traditional Ukrainian outfit. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, let's go with that, I guess. Or with this. Yeah, let's. Well, I did it. Why it's not disappearing? Okay. Baker Street. Whoa, hello.
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Hold shift to run. Where are
Do
we
you
running?
even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
Cordona, right. It's where we've
Get
been.
the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here! Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Any breaking news today?
The dock accident. It's the talk of the town.
Yes, yes. Besides the tripe on the front page, anything about burglaries?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
You've got a new
Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand
question
here!
in your mind palace. Yeah. Let's do that. With a cactus spine stuck in the in a sheet. Okay, so we have a connection. Who ruined the Strand? Book from Barnes. Cactus pine potentially poisoned. Not sure what am I doing. Pin evidence. Oh, Newsboys testimony. That's their article. Okay, we can switch between the clues. Who ruined the Strand? So they're also colored now. Okay. Barnes' local bookseller. Newsboy said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books, and this morning Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, delivered a novel for Dr. Watson. A cactus spine for assassination, a loud bang. Visit to Mr. Barnes is in order. Okay, the clues now were like colored. Like there was a blue and green. In the previous game there was not such a thing. Barnes local books have ruined the newspaper. Well, we've connected that, so yeah, okay. That's a full conclusion. We have no more questions at the moment, so... Okay, and now this is what we have to do. So that's the like a evidence we can pin and the location. A business card which includes the address of his store just around the corner. Okay. Well, that's where we are. Can't move the map actually.
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has
Get the
his
strand.
scruples.
Get your copy of the
Every
strand
pawn
here.
knows it's part of a game.
You can pin evidence for quick access for information from your casebook over C and pin
Get
with
the strand. Get your copy
bookshop
of the
photo by
strand here.
pressing X, try to find the bookshop. Oh, okay. We actually don't have to do it, but we could. Okay, pin. Yeah, like I didn't use that as often, I think.
Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand here.
So now we just gotta find the same looking shop. Can we talk?
Excuse me, just one question.
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Yeah, right. Like if we pin it and we talk about people or ask people so they could navigate us. Door lock. What? Road closed. All right. Well, it's just around the corner, but what corner?
Are you able to help me?
No, sir, I've never heard of it.
How so? Is it that?
May I ask you something?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
And why they don't know about it? If it's right there. It's just right there. Why they don't know about it? So how to unpin it quickly? Unpin. I tried to click X again and it didn't work. So well, fine.
How about that Vogel fellow? He seems rather obsessed with you. Would he do something like this?
Bags under ice, the effects of overwork. Ink, newspaper ink. Leans heavily on his right leg. Sore left leg. High heels. Wants to look taller. Workaholic or blackmail victim? Nah, workaholic. Yeah, like about the when we observe people, we can make our observations into two conclusions, and it never wrong or right. I think they're like both equally right. So yeah.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
So now we have this vision where it's highlighted the important things.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
It's a cute dog.
The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Well, maybe that's why he is limping. Limping? Limping.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Exotic plants catalog. Everlasting plants for everlasting love. What?
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. Finest view London has to offer.
We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
Familiar spine? This is what I found in my dustbin. The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Wearing makeup for beauty or concealment. Luxury fabric. Unusual word for work attire. Distant look. Avoiding eye contact or distracted. Marine brooch. Brooch? Okay. Clean boots. Ready to move on, still grieving.
Mrs. Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes. I don't know anything about this, sorry. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily, I know, not very original. The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket.
So, what are we doing now? I think we should come back inside. or not?
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
So, okay, we can make conclusions, actually. Why is Barnes acting so strangely? So, blue cryptology roses for sale. Documents and testimonies. Okay, so they categorize this. Items and observations. Okay, so we need to find from each category like a clue, so to make a connection, decision, deduction thing. Items. Okay, so one was correct. Okay. Mr. Barnes loves Miss Fleming. Barnes displays a bouquet of dead roses to attract the attention of Miss Fleming, a florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him watering advice, or it could simply be a symbol of his desperation. He gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalog on his counter. Okay. Plainly, this is the same cactus he dropped on strand outside. Okay, now to hear the full story.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Local at the port of London had a rude awakening last night with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva had docked at Pier N3 in the early evening en route to Europe when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The port authorities yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into river, but with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
let me know if there's any way I can make it up to you. Tell you what, tomorrow's edition of The Strand is on me.
I'm sure Barnes has had enough of our meddling, Mr. Holmes. We best be off.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
it's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.